Hello and welcome to my video on how to answer exams F212. This is obviously the biology exam that's on Monday, but it can apply to any A-level science exam really. So these are just my couple of tips. If you have any more, please post them in the comments so everyone can see them. So firstly, know your stuff. So this is before you've entered the exam room. Revise, obviously. Make notes, make mind maps on certain topics, do past papers, look at the mark scheme answers and copy them. So just make sure you get the revision sorted so you can go into the exam confident you know your stuff. Step 1. Take it slow. So have 5 minutes to look through the whole of the paper, just to see what's on it. Then it's all about how you answer the questions. Firstly, what order you do them in. You want to answer all the short questions you know. So any 1, 2 or 3 marks. if you see what's the primary structure of a protein and you know that, write it down. What that will do is it'll firstly get rid of all the easy marks, and you should get a good 30, 40 marks even from that. So that's good, and it'll build your confidence. So you'll be going in, you're going, I know this. Now answer the long questions. There'll be 2 8-mark questions, maybe a bit even more marks than that. Answer these, because these are good. Well, these could be 20% of your paper, so you really need to make sure you get those. Even if you don't know this, even if you don't know everything, if you can even answer half of them, you've still got 10% of the paper, and that's good. Then answer all the questions you don't know, because the chances are you do know them. They might have been worded differently, but there won't be anything there that you've not seen before. They might ask how, you've seen a question, how does evolution occur? That's natural selection. They might ask, how does a resistant population occur? Well, it's going to happen through evolution, so you write the exact same answers you would, but with one small difference, which is coming up soon. Step 2. Read the question. Say, this is obvious, but people miss stuff out. Read the question. In fact, read it twice. Highlight every keyword and look at what the command word is. Is it a describe question, or is it an explain question, or is it something else? If it's a describe question, you just simply say what it is. If it's an explain question, you explain why it is. Topic. What topic is it on? Is it try and narrow it down. So you see it first, it's the biological molecules question. So you do that. You then see it's about carbohydrates and knowledge, so focus on knowledge from carbohydrates. You then see it's on the formation of glycosidic bonds. Boom, you now know what you need to answer. And if it's a quality of written communication question, the one with a little pencil by it, make sure you know what that quality of written communication mark is. If they say, make sure you compare this and this, make sure you've done it at least twice, preferably more. If they say, make sure you relate your thing to evidence, make sure you do that at least twice. Step 3. Keep referring back to the question. Don't use the words it and they or that. Let's say you get a question on a field is monitored for organisms. Here are the results. What can you gather from this question? It is full of biodiversity. What's it? The field has a high biodiversity. Same with there's a question about, let's say, the common cow is selectively bred. How does this happen? It is chosen for its selected characteristics. That means nothing. The cow is chosen depending on its characteristics, such as. So that's also quite important. Use examples. And also try and link and explain points. If you say a definition in your answer, even though they haven't asked for it, say it. This is unit 1, but if you said this lowers the osmotic potential of the cell. Okay, great. What does that mean? It means that it's water is not going to flow in or out of the cell. And then use examples. Step 4. Keywords. The most important thing in biology, particularly, use keywords in every sentence you can, particularly in the quality of written communication mark. And make sure you get them spelled right and you know your definitions. Now, the chances are, this applies not just to keywords. If you've used a word and go, I think there's a better one, there almost certainly is a better one, so use it. The amount of water is measured this. No, the volume of water is measured. Example like that. And then just keywords. If you're doing a question on evolution, state it is done by natural selection. I mean, the chances are 1 mark will be for stating natural selection. So just write it. Just go natural selection, full stop, next point, done, mark. Step 5. When answering, state the obvious first. It's surprising how many marks you can get for saying the obvious. So, I mean, this is a GCSE paper I've seen. I know it's not quite A-level, but the same principle. It was a question about why do carnivores have eyes on the front of their head? Well, you got 1 mark saying carnivores eat meat. That's obvious. Why would you write that? Well, write it. And you do this because you pretend the examiner knows nothing at all. They don't know what biology is. They can understand it at the same level you can, but they have no idea what anything is you're talking about. So if they see a question on talk about how peptide bonds are formed, they don't even know what a peptide bond is. Explain it. And use figures where appropriate. If you're given a table of values, quote them. If you're given a graph, quote it. And basically, those are my main points. Lots of them R's. So, to be honest, these are my R's. Revise, relax, read, refer, and write keywords. And that is how you can do well in a biology exam. Any points I've missed off, you think that works for you, because everyone's different, write them in the comments. Also, on Monday, I will try and do a video on how I think the exam went. I will not do an unofficial mark scheme because I don't trust myself enough for it, but I will do a video talking about how I think the exam was, any difficult questions, easy questions. You can write what you think the answers were for some. Yeah. And so finally, good luck. You can do it. If you revised hard, you will do well. Just don't get panicked in the exam room. So thank you for listening, and goodbye.